Hi, I'm Kit.
And I'm Cade,
And we're real people.
doing real reviews.
And we are reviewing top 13 of Variety's horror or genre films for 2024. This is number
Number 5, Red Room.
which was made here in Canada, in Montreal, and it was filmed in French, which I loved, and that is a big lean for me. I love little diversity in the language. It's something that I was really looking forward to when it came to this film. Incredibly high reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Um, kind of mid-range for IMDb. I think it was 7. And yeah, and so we were coming in, obviously, we're thinking, "Oh my gosh, top 5?" So we're gonna tell it to you straight. Oh, buckle up. We have some
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yes,
Mhm.
this movie is just right under 2 hours.
Sure is. We felt the whole 2 hours. We felt the whole thing. Mhm,
Yes,
mhm.
it is.
Gonna talk about premise?
Yeah, sure. We'll start there. So basically, well, from what I can gather from the story,
If we really think about it, it was about a fashion model
yeah,
who has, for some reason, we don't know why, became obsessed with a local trial in Montreal that was happening about a potential murderer that murdered 3 young girls that were blonde hair, blue eyed. And she is watching the trial and attending the trials. She's not a juror. She's just watching and attending the trials. And you can tell that throughout the film, she has an incredibly high IQ and EQ. So you're getting like a good sense of her intelligence level as she's, being revealed, right?
yeah, super smart through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, kind of gets a little twisted in the midst of it.
Mm-hmm. So,
Um, she
yeah.
she like you loses her contract deal
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of it because they see her at the court.
Yeah. So all of her, she's very proud of, you can tell she's very proud of, that she's being featured and on the cover of these
Magazine.
magazines, that she's doing quite well, and she's being booked quite solidly as a model. She's in a gorgeous downtown high rise. And she is, like kind of through a kind of obsession. She's attending these trials, but of course there's reporters and media and cameras, and so she's caught on camera being there and being there and being there, even though she doesn't comment or have conversations. It's enough for the brands to get nervous and suspicious, and we're like, we understand this is a private life, but like, oh, we don't want it. And so we're gonna cut her from some of these things. So she loses all of this. She also um through kind of, and again, we're like saying it like this because we're through kind of investigating what she's trying to accomplish. She befriends someone who looks like they're maybe obsessed or in love with the alleged murderer, and befriends her, brings her home, and is like, kind of showing, gives her a racket, teaches her some sports, like is hanging out with her, telling jokes with her, ordering pizza with her, doing a friendship. And there is very bizarre behavior that you're trying to kind of place together. So, for instance, this fashion model is in this beautiful high rise, but then at nighttime, she kind of closes up her home, goes and finds an alley and sleeps in the alley so that she's first in line for being at the trial in the morning.
Yeah.
Still undetermined why. We've watched the whole movie. We're like, okay, I don't know if it maybe she has like a risk fetish or an adrenaline fetish. Like I'm not really sure. She's just like, I'm gonna sleep out here in the alley.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
big.
well, it's not explained, not answered. Um, she kind of through searching around, and again, we kind of know this through her IQ and her being good at numbers and good at investigation, good at kind of good at Bitcoin, but good at poker, good at kind of finding things online. There's a reference to DuckDuckGo and like security premises and knowing how to breach security. So you're like, okay, she's clever. Um, that there's a way to maybe find out if maybe there was the third murder tape has not been revealed. So there's 2 murder tapes. This murderer apparently was very into smut on the dark web, and that you could film these murders, and it was, and of course that's called a red room in the dark web if you film something, which is where we are. And So if you are somebody who's like, what? I booked the Red Room Cabins in Tennessee. Not like a sexy red room, like red room, red meaning blood. It's a murder scene. And that people would pay to watch that live. And so it's kind of again explained that this could be happening, that there's potentially a third one out there. So she goes around on the dark web, does a few things, and they're like, we're going to initiate you or validate you to make sure that we know it's somebody who would really want to try to purchase this third video. And so I think they ask her to make a stint or a stunt at the actual courtroom where she dresses up like the deceased, one of the deceased girls in front of the mother that's also attending the trial. And she does so, and they validate her, and she can bid on this, on this third video. She does. She wins, and she gets the video. She's watching it. She looks really happy that she received it, which is we're like, okay, weird, but I guess she bid all those Bitcoin, so we're happy we got there. She then takes it, brings it to the mom by breaking into the house quietly, taking photos of herself on the house, dropping it off, and then going off into the night like a vigilante. And then that third video, I guess, reveals that person that's there, the murderer, is actually the murderer, and he pleads guilty because that video was found. Ta-da.
In the movie.
Why it's bizarre is because there is so many unanswered things about this very strange person that you're following the whole time. And
And we were following them in slow motion.
it is
Nothing's fast.
none of
This movie.
then we watch the full, like she makes a smoothie at night. We know everything she puts in that smoothie. You know what I mean? We know her full walk to work. We know the name of her AI personal assistant. We know how long she takes to shower. We're like, this is why it's 2 hours. I don't know if they.
It was a very long movie.
Eh, Yep. And you feel it. You know, when there's movies when you watch and you're like, well, it was 3 hours, but I still want more. Or like, it was 3 hours, but like, oh my gosh, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, couldn't tell.
We could tell. We could tell the whole time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about the points that you feel like weren't explained? For her to list them up?
For sure. Well, I think odd. Like, it was very artsy
Mm-hmm.
with her, but like, she's obsessed with this trial, but it doesn't really say why.
Why?
It doesn't tell why she
Sleeps outside?
sleeps outside. Her gambling.
Which is like a numbers thing for her to win Bitcoin. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But doesn't go, it could go further. So we could attach to it maybe. Um,
Yeah.
why did she befriend the person to the degree that she did?
And then where did she go? Like, she just disappeared?
Went home. Was
Yeah.
like, never mind. I think that person is it. Which we thought maybe from a vigilante standpoint, she was like, she had seen the other shoe videos of these other shoe murder girls because they were available. And so she showed it to the girl, and the girl was like, I really do think it is him. And she left, and that broke her heart because she was in love with him. But then maybe that helped save her being in a weird situation. Maybe. Um, there was also this model is like, again, she has like an agent. She's like, front of brand. So you would think she would have friendships, relationships, things, but she's very isolated. She's very standoffish. She's quite strange. And that's not really explained why either.
And then, like, there's a van parked outside her house at night.
Mm-hmm. Not sure about that. I can't even really make an assumption. We're like, was that the person that was verifying the Bitcoin? Was it just to freak her out? Was she overthinking it? Anything else?
Yeah. Why did she destroy her AI assistant?
Don't know, because maybe the AI still would be able to be like, she was the one that figured everything out, because she just disappeared into the mist after she solved this murder
Yeah, maybe.
and bit the things, which again doesn't really make sense because she could just go to the cops and be like, hey, I felt like I was learning so much. I'm pretty good online. I went to go see if I could purchase it. I could. Here it is. I don't know what to do with it. Oh my God. And they would have been like, you're a hero. But she didn't do that either.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do you want to just continue doing this? You want to continue your vigilante work that's newly found right now
Yes.
that you want to, that was very strange.
I do think it was a interesting use of uh tech.
It was relevant. I don't know if you can hear that motorcycle outside. I don't know. Just a little.
Yeah, welcome to summer.
Yeah, well, yeah. Still rolling. Sounds Sophia's still rolling. We're not going to cut it. We're just going to keep going. Action. um, and yeah, good use of tech. Good use of explaining maybe obsessive behavior in some ways. I feel like if they really wanted to go there with like people who have very, very obsessive mindsets or to the point of maybe it being a problem, that there are some areas where they should have explained further so that we could attach to the obsessive behavior in her. But because it wasn't strong enough where it came from, or I think maybe they were trying to create mystery or interest around the character, it lost us a little bit.
Yeah, like the one scene where she's just playing racquetball with herself.
Yeah, so she gets her frustration out by playing sports, and she also exercises quite often, which, when you're a model, you count your calories and, there's expectations. But yeah, she's just doing it. And she's frustrated.
Yeah.
Which we're like, is she frustrated because of these people passing away? There's scenes where it looks like she's like reeling from the information that's being presented, but we don't know really what's being presented. So we're like, okay, it's a lot. But you're going to this trial. It's not new. They're like unpacking it, right?
And then like that one scene where she's just sitting there with the blonde wig on, kind of like freaking out.
Yeah. Pretending to be one of the girls, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
Also not explained.
Yeah. Well, I would not watch that movie again.
We had such high hopes.
Yeah.
We had high hopes. Um, Again, for us, we're big on storyline. Like, did the story make sense? Could we follow along? It can be a dark, twisty story, but like, where are you taking us? And we felt like big, big gaps in the character development, big gaps in the story,
Yeah.
and big gaps in really like the ending of her kind of disappearing off into like the distance. Bizarre and also not in line with the other parts of her character. We just felt like it was disjointed and maybe not as thought out as it could have been.
Yeah. Also, we had to pay $7 to rent that movie.
We bought an SVOD. What
Yeah.
what what did we watch it on? Prime?
Prime.
Prime? Okay. Paid for it on Prime. Um we are like, I'm not saying it's trash. I'm just saying like
No,
it's a it's artsy,
yeah,
it's creative.
and very slow.
Is very slow. It's a slow burn without any climax.
With no yeah.
We just stay in the foreplay till leaves, and we're like, what happened? There wasn't any spike here. What happened? Yeah,
Yeah.
Dan, no.
Pan up, there's a building,
Yep.
and we sit on the building for a little bit. All right, next thing.
Okay, and now we have established the shot. We know where she is. Now interior. Move to the interior. This one we're like, yeah, got it.
Hmm.
All right. Very, very strange. So what would you give it? Out of 10, there, Kate.
Oh, out of 10, Red Room for me is I'm gonna give it a 5.
I'm gonna give it a 1.
Oh,
I'm gonna give it a 1. I don't think it was enough for me to even lean on any.
no?
I didn't remember. I was even like, God, they could have cast that better, that better. No, 1.
1.
Why?
Oh.
Why a 5 for you?
Well, I was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably put that more as a drama than a horror film. Because it was, I mean, like, it's
We see nothing.
see nothing. It's just talking about the event. There's some weird, it's just very artsy. It's artsy.
And you liked it?
Well, I mean, like,
I think that we watch the news all the time, and if somebody was weird at home by themselves as a model about the news, I don't care about that model. And if she wanted to sleep outside because she has some kind of sleep outside fetish, I don't care about that either. You do that. You do you, honey. And then if there was some news about the news,
I mean, I also rated it a 5 because I had a pretty good nap. Yeah. I took a little nap and I didn't miss anything.
well,
So
was
well
it
done. Well done to them.
for being background noise?
Yeah, it was good.
I need a story and characters that I care about. Okay? Filmmakers, that's what I want to see. I want to see where you're taking us and why we feel for these people. If you're going to take us on a journey and you're going to put us in a very sterile room where they're going to be putting somebody on trial without even putting signage on the wall of what type of courthouse they're in.
Which was also weird because he was in that glass box. Like, odd.
Maybe that exists somewhere and we don't know in Montreal. Maybe that's the Montreal way to trial. Maybe we learned something.
Maybe.
This is how we do trials in Montreal.
Maybe. Hmm.
Well, one for me.
One
Five
for
for
you.
you.
5 for me.
Mm-hmm. Thought the main character, the lead gal, Kellyanne, really great. They did a lot of very close up filming. It is really expression focused because she's not very vocal, mostly because she's by herself so often and she's so isolated. Um, which also like great use of using AI for an interaction point because then she's not talking to herself, but you can kind of understand things instead of just watching. Interesting take, basic cinema, but
Yeah.
but I did think that she was like quite good at like whatever this character was supposed to be. You definitely have like a sense of like her being you believe her intelligence. You believe when she wins the bid to get the thing, like it's very believable in her acting. So I'll give her that. That's probably where the one comes from, to be honest.
That was the one.
That was the one where she carried it in those guys.
Yeah.
Anything
And
else?
there's a lot of that where she is like this close. And she's like,
Expressing.
yeah.
That's hard. You just remember, like, when you're watching a movie and you're seeing things like that, that means that cameraman was like, hello, ma'am, act now. And she had to do that and she did it. So here's my kudos, but that's all I can do about 'em. I was bored and I didn't like it.
Okay.
What about you?
I had a nap. I'm give it a 5.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Kate,
We're real people.
doing real reviews.
See you next time.
Bye bye.